All right, it's 8:21 here on the Big 550 KTRS. Let's talk a little TV with TV critic extraordinaire Gail Pennington, who is not Skyping with us. Seems like all the women don't want to. Claire McCaskill Skyped with us last week. Why can't Gail Pennington Skype with us? She can get up, and she doesn't want to come in the studio, but she won't Skype with us either. Good morning, Gail Pennington.
Good morning, McGraw Millhaven.
You know, Senator McCaskill Skyped with us last week.
Did she? She
Yes.
must get up earlier than I do.
Fair enough. And Judith Newmark, the theater critic, she refuses to even come on the show.
She was on with you last week.
I know, but they had to, beg her to come on the show.
No, I think it's that she is up late doing theater, and so you're on kind of early for her. Could you move to an afternoon spot?
She was at Sardi's late the night before.
That's
Is
right.
that what
and
you're saying?
if you were on in the afternoon, I would consider Skyping with you.
All right, well, fair enough. We'll see what happens. All right, lots of going ons in the world of TV. Let's start with the Bachelorette, which just might have jumped the shark last night.
I agree with you, and I think the problem was they're trying too hard. Where did they get all those crazy men?
I don't understand. Are the men deciding to show up shirtless, or are the producers egging them on to show up shirtless?
Well, you remember our guy who wore the mask?
Yes.
He said that they egged him on.
Right.
That it was his original idea, but that they really encouraged him to keep it on and to really push it. Yeah. And we know how well that works.
Let me go on a dating show and let me wear a mask.
I mean, there was the time last night when the man with no shirt was making fun of the man wearing the suit of armor. I mean, really?
Well, then what about the guy who shows up with the fantasy suite room and, thinks he's somehow going to bring Desiree to the fantasy suite room last night?
And kept on and on and on. That just seems like something a producer pushed.
Yeah,
Don't
I
you
agree.
think?
I agree. They're coming dangerously close to losing me, and that's
If
bad.
they lose you, they just might as well go off the air.
That's exactly right. Though the guy who shows up with the kid, that kind of melted your heart a little bit.
But isn't he the one who has the girlfriend?
Oh, is that how that works?
Well, I thought that he said, "I'm Ben's girlfriend," and isn't that guy's name Ben?
Oh.
I don't know. It's hard to tell them apart at this stage, but I need your opinion on something.
Go ahead.
They said beforehand that this group of men had probably the best-looking man who'd ever been one of the Bachelorette suitors. Which one?
Yeah, I don't buy
You
that.
think one of them is particularly good-looking?
I mean, they're like model good-looking. They're not like.
Some are perfectly okay. I mean, quite a lot of them are, but I didn't see one that was like, oh my gosh, that's a young John Hamm good-looking.
Well, there's no. Do you remember Trista? Cast aside Charlie. I thought Charlie was the best-looking guy out of all of them.
But she also married a really good-looking one.
And her husband is very attractive as well. So yeah. So
maybe we'll think they're better-looking when we get to know them better.
I think Chad Harrison. What's the guy's name? Not Harrison. Chris Harrison. He should be the Bachelor.
He's happily married.
No, he got divorced.
Did he? Well, then he should definitely be the Bachelor.
He should be the Bachelor. That would be great.
He should suffer a little.
All right. What about, speaking of John Hamm, he is the coolest man on television.
Yes.
Did you see that outfit he was wearing last night when he walked into the camp and he had breakfast with his kid and his ex-wife?
Yeah, right.
That shirt he wore, that tight polyester with the weird collar, which your overweight father wore in 1985, but works in 1968.
You have a little bit of a crush, don't you?
I got a man crush on John Hamm.
I mean, totally understand it.
The guy's just smooth, man.
That was a really good episode. I thought it was one of the best episodes of the season.
No question about it. It was fantastic. Have you also noticed that his pants are really short?
I think men wore their pants shorter then.
What I want to know is John Hamm or Don Draper going to be stuck in 1965?
He isn't a person who likes to change.
Right. Yeah. That show is so good.
So good.
It is so great. Speaking of great shows, how much of Arrested Development have you watched?
I've watched 4. I'm trying to pace myself a little bit.
Yes.
I'm not sure that binge watching it is the way to do it.
Because
it's
like having a whole gallon of ice cream?
It doesn't really, this one with each episode being devoted to a different character.
Right.
It doesn't really, I think, play that well in a big chunk. I think we would be enjoying it more, and a lot of people are complaining about it not being as good as they hoped, which I think was inevitable.
Right.
But I think if we were watching it week by week and had a whole week to talk about it and maybe watch it again and dissect it like we used to,
right,
I think it would be working better.
It's really, you watch things differently now because you can binge watch them.
You do, and I can't watch Netflix on my TV because I'm apparently stuck in the 90s as far as my television goes.
You can get Apple TV.
I could get a million things, but it just sets off a whole like redecorating the
house. Is your new TV on top of your old TV?
Right. Yes, I might be a redneck.
Did you see the stat? Because Arrested Development they released it all on Netflix. They released all 15 episodes on Netflix, right?
Right.
Okay. Did you see the stat last week that came out that said at nighttime internet traffic, 2/3 of internet traffic in America is dedicated to Netflix?
Do you think that that's accurate, or do you think it's just because Netflix takes up so much bandwidth that it is disproportionately measured?
I think, however they measure it, the fact that 2/3 of the internet usage at night is Netflix says something about the future of television.
Because in my experience, 2/3 of the internet traffic at night is Twitter.
Well, no. Interestingly enough, then they did a study of what's the other third watching. And 95% of that other third is downloading porn. You didn't see that coming, did you?
But it does not surprise me. I believe that's true.
No, I just made it up. But
you did, but it certainly rings true, doesn't it?
All right. Anything else we should watch this week, Gail Pennington?
Well, this is it's actually a pretty big week. I'm excited about a show that starts Wednesday night on CBS called The American Baking Competition.
Right.
It's a bake-off for amateur bakers.
Ooh. All right.
I mean, crazy as that sounds. And NBC has a Oklahoma tornado relief concert Wednesday night.
All right. Well, they've got nothing else. They might as well dedicate all their time to raising money for Oklahoma.
And then The Killing comes back on Sunday for season 3. Did you watch that?
I didn't watch any of it, but people swear by this show.
The first season people loved. The second season people were really frustrated by. And then AMC canceled it, and then they uncanceled it.
All right. We'll see what happens. All right. Gail Pennington, when can we read you? When can we see you?
Well, Sunday in A&E, I'm going to have a huge summer TV roundup with all the premiere dates for everything all the way through till August.
And I think you should still do a critique of our TV show.
Well, I think that would be biased because
that's all right.
Of course, being on it, I think it's great.
You can be biased. I don't have a problem with
I know
being biased.
You don't, but I'm trying to maintain my journalistic integrity.
Oh, you're the Larry Connors scam again. I hear. All right, that whole deal. Will somebody call out Channel 4 for questioning Larry Connors' journalistic integrity? They were giving away a car. I mean, really. Channel 5, I was giving away purses if you watch their news.
Well, you have to draw the line somewhere.
Holy mackerel. Outrageous. Gail, have a good week. Thanks
You
for
too.
checking in. Gail Pennington, ladies and gentlemen, right here on the Big 550 KTRS and at STLtoday.com, our TV show for HD cameras. The St. Louis Post-Dispatch critic Gail Pennington calls it the best internet stream she's seen. So there. 8:30 here on the Big 550 KTRS.